Welcome to NTN Nightly. I am Janelle Novel. This edition's top stories. The Ezra Long Laboratory to process COVID-19 samples in 24 hours after clearing the backlog of cases. The forensic lab is lending its skills to the national COVID-19 response. And government addresses flooding in the Dennery region. After months of dealing with a backlog of cases, the Ezra Long Laboratory is reporting an end to the inordinate waiting period for test results. From Wednesday, March 3, 2021, the Ezra Long Laboratory will be processing samples with a 24-hour turnaround period. Dr. Winfrey Lucia is the laboratory director.
During this period of February 25th to 28, 2021, we were able to do 2,408 patient samples during just a 3-day period. To put this into context, in the month of August, last year, we were able to do 2,500 patient samples. 1 month's work in 1 week. And this was what the lab was faced with during those 2 months. What we were able to do, we had to look at every single facet of our processes and try to see ways we can improve, be more efficient, and handle the increased workload. By this, we were able to bring in a biomedical engineer for repair and certification of a second biosafety cabinet, thus developing redundancy. So if anything happens to it, we have a second to work with, which occurred on February 1st, 2021. We also procured an automated extraction robot, which can do extractions of 188 patient samples in an 80-minute period. Putting it into context, manual extraction, which was what we were doing, would have, a human being would be able to do 16 samples within an hour to 2-hour period. So this greatly increases our ability to test patient samples during the day. We had to get clerical staff increasing the clerical staff from 3 to 6 persons and doing a 24-hour period workflow rather than the 16-hour workflow that was happening prior. We had to get workstations for those persons to work, computers, lab information systems inputted on them, so we can be able to process and input the patient data and turn these results out from a sample into a result as soon as possible. The laboratory is able to process between 762 to 1,125 samples daily with a 24-hour turnaround.
Meantime, the Ezra Long Lab now is being supported by the Forensic Services Laboratory. Director Fernanda Henry says the Forensic Lab is using its available technologies to enhance the island's PCR testing capacity.
We have to ensure that the kits that we're using are up to standard. So we have to validate them. We had to get samples to be able to do that. It's just building good quality assurance. It is to establish good quality assurance practice and procedure to ensure that the end result of our testing is of sound quality and can be relied upon consistently. We have purchased 2 new pieces of equipment. The first one is going to be shipped in short order. It's which upgrades our DNA machines. We have kind of a bottom of the rung machine at the moment. Actually, the first generation genetic analyzer, the machine that produces the DNA profile. We have a first generation one, but with the approvals from the government, we have purchased an upgrade to one that has 4 capillaries as opposed to 1 capillary, so we can do 4 samples at any one time. And further to that, we recently received approval from the Minister of Finance to purchase a machine that will allow us to do genetic sequencing. So you know the sequencing that they talk about, trying to sequence the virus, the COVID-19 virus. We will have that capability with this new piece of equipment that we will be getting shortly.
Director of the Forensic Services Laboratory, Fernanda Henry. The COVAX facility has commenced the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, with Ghana being one of the first countries to receive vaccines. The first round of allocations provides doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine to COVAX facility participants through May 2021. This first round of allocation outlines delivery of doses of the vaccine manufactured by AstraZeneca and Covishield, licensed to and manufactured by Serum Institute of India, to 142 facility participants. Chief Executive Officer of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, Dr. Seth Berkley, highlighted what is expected in the coming weeks and months.
We have to think about this in terms of doses, dollars, and deliveries. Through our 190 participants in the COVAX facility, we continue to rely on the support of both self-financing participants that pay their own way through the COVAX facility, but are working together in a multilateral fashion to help bring down the cost and increase availability of vaccines, and the support of donors to fund lower income economies through the Gavi COVAX Advanced Market Commitment. As you know, we made major progress at the recent G7 virtual summit on February 19th, when we doubled the support for the Gavi COVAX AMC with major new funding from Germany, the European Union, the United States, and a number of other donors. We also learned that France and the United Kingdom would share surplus doses with COVAX, joining other nations in contributing to what we hope will be a major new source of early vaccines. We're incredibly grateful for all this support.
Dr. Berkley explained that with the required support, the COVAX facility can secure more vaccine doses, thus allowing for the increased protection of populations of low and lower middle income countries.
We believe with the right funding in place, it may be possible to purchase even more doses, maybe 1.8 billion doses of vaccine in 2021 for the low and lower middle income AMC countries. That's 500 million doses more than we set out to achieve late last year. Our goal is to protect as many people as possible and to count on the vision and support of the international community to help us achieve this. But we also count on the private sector to have not just one, but a handful of safe and effective vaccines available, as Richard mentioned, and scaled up in less than 12 months is a triumph of collaboration between science, government, and business. We're proud to be delivering this month vaccines from 3 manufacturers: the Serum Institute of India, AstraZeneca Oxford, and Pfizer-BioNTech. We're also excited by the progress made by the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine, which just received US FDA emergency use authorization, and as you know, has agreed to provide us with 500 million doses, and by our recent memorandum of understanding with Novavax, which we hope to turn into a firm advance purchase agreement for 1.1 billion doses in the current weeks.
Chief Executive Officer of Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, Dr. Seth Berkley, speaking there at a media briefing held on Tuesday on the commencement of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout by the COVAX facility. Teachers in St. Lucia during the COVID-19 pandemic are undergoing a tremendous transformation. Teachers adopt computers and technologies in teaching, opening a world of possibilities to the young generation. The teaching integrates necessary online digital tools, devices, and applications. The Department of Education has gone a long way in providing teachers with a series of capacity-building courses such as Google Classroom, Moodle, and more. ICT in Education Development Project of the Taiwan Embassy has responded to the Ministry of Education's policies by fostering online learning platform adaptation and empowering teachers with capacity-building resources for making interactive animation, e-books, and videos.
COVID-19 has impacted every aspect of life, including but not limited to traditional face-to-face education and classroom learning environment. In a time like this, it is imperative to empower teachers and students to reach their aspirations and goals by accelerating the transition to e-education and smart education. And we are glad to see substantial results of the ICT in Education project will be presented today by the teachers who have taken on the heavy responsibility of transforming St. Lucia's education even more to the future development of promising St. Lucian students. The best way to predict your future is to create it. With projects such as ICT in education, smart classroom, and GINet, Taiwan and St. Lucia will reach the UN Sustainable Development Goals together.
Education practitioners are now enabled to integrate materials and the use of technology in their daily teaching. Foreseeably, the attribution of the Teacher Capacity Building Program will not only embrace the change and innovation in teaching, but ultimately reshape the teaching strategies and methods in the education system. St. Lucia Education is transforming and adapting to a greater online education environment. Kendall Kodra is the Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Department of Education.
We are indeed pleased that our schools, and in particular, our teachers, have kept the ball rolling and continue to do amazing things throughout all of the adversities. Your Excellency, we express our profound gratitude to you and our other friends from the Republic of China, Taiwan, for providing the necessary support to drive our e-education ecosystem and make these innovations a success. Of course, the Department of Education, Innovation, and Gender Relations continues to welcome any other opportunity which aims to improve our education system and develop a more resilient people.
McGavin James, a teacher at the Stanley John Odlum Secondary School, explained that the newly obtained tools and skills will go a long way in educating the nation.
We have access through the internet to millions of web pages, assessments, tons of content, but we do not have any Caribbean-centric context relevant to our culture content. The only people that can do that is us. So over the last few years, I've had this movement and this thing at the back of my mind where we really need to start becoming creators of content and not consumers of content. And that is why when we started doing this, we did the training, etc., I was very happy because all the tools were content creation tools.
The activity was used to showcase what actions teachers under the ICT in Education project are using in imparting knowledge to students virtually using several free online resources. The government of St. Lucia, with assistance from the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, DVRP, has embarked on an initiative to reduce the frequency of flooding in the Dennery region. More from Hamadi Mark.
Because of the smell of the mud I said there's flooding. I called them, tell them try and see what they can lift up to put in the house because the water was coming in like it's the sea that was there.
This is an all too familiar story. Downpour, high tide, poor drainage, and a village at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Dennery village is below sea level, basically. And when the tide is high, water comes in through the drainage system and builds up. I'm the parliamentary rep. When it rains in Dennery, I can't sleep, okay? Much less the individuals who live in the low-lying area.
On October 6, 2010, Hurricane Thomas inundated the village of Dennery. The flooding was aggravated not only by torrential downpour, but a very poor drainage system. Fast forward 10 years, same date, October 6, 2020, Mother Nature returned with the same fury. Over 8 inches of rain and predictably a flooded village of over 5,000 residents.
Sometimes the water will go inside of the shop. I have goods that damage already for the sake of the flooding. Sometimes if I buy some goods, like today, tomorrow flood, I have to throw the things.
November 17, 2020, the skies opened up, and once again, Dennery was a casualty community. The government of St. Lucia, with the assistance of the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, DVRP, have embarked on an initiative to reduce the frequency of flooding in this region with a meticulously engineered drainage system.
This drain where we are here now, it's coming from an area called Green Mountain. They tapped into it at one point up behind the school. And that is where most of the water coming down to the main drain is. So until this subside a little, then the other one carry. But now with what they're doing now, they have widened it and you have the turn as it goes with the turn. So with the water pressure, both of them would be running parallel to each other. It picks it up and that should make a difference, a big difference.
The drainage network is designed to efficiently channel stormwater into various courses to accommodate up to a 1 in 25-year rainfall event. The system includes a series of interconnected open drains, slab drains, and road culvert crossings, totaling approximately 1,000 meters.
We are doing the structural concrete now, which is the drain we're building, excavating, putting in the rebars, casting the bottom formwork. We are doing everything simultaneously. As we go along, a team ahead, the concrete team follow, the formwork team follow.
The Dennery South flood mitigation contract was awarded through a competitive bidding process at a cost of 3 million EC and is expected to be completed within 6 months. The DVRP aims to build flood-resistant communities across St. Lucia, one project at a time. From the Government Information Service, Hilma DeMark reporting.
Financial assistance for the completion of the 6-water Vieux-Fort water supply redevelopment project through a CDB loan has been approved by Parliament. The Caribbean Development Bank has made an additional $7,378,000 available for the venture. This consists of an amount of $4,178,000 from its equity and market resources and $3,200,000 that the CDB allocated from the European Investment Bank under the Climate Change Action Line of Credit. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Physical Planning, Natural Resources and Cooperatives, Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, listed the components of this second phase of the project at the recent sitting of Parliament.
We are going to rehabilitate the raw water treatment line at Beauséjour, the construction of a new water treatment plant at Beauséjour with a capacity of 8,640 cubic meters, the construction of a new chemical storage building at Beauséjour, the installation of approximately 8.7 kilometers of HDP, that's a new line, pipeline, so to speak, that we are now using, and a DI transmission main from Beauséjour water treatment plant to Binfield and Latuni.
Honorable Joseph says the project is not limited to just the Vieux-Fort North area.
The installation of an additional 5 kilometers of HDPE and DI transmission main from Ojetang to Labi. So right, Mr. Speaker, we're looking at Vieux-Fort North, Vieux-Fort South, and Labi. Now, if you are a vindictive government, will we do that? These are not seats that we have won. But we feel it's important, Mr. Speaker, we feel it's important to take care of every St. Lucian.
The proposed project also consists of infrastructure works comprising 2 river intake structures, 3 new pumping stations, 15 kilometers of new high-density polyethylene transmission mains, and 3 new storage reservoirs. This is NTN Nightly. Up next, Primus Hutchinson with the NTN Nouvelle à Creole.
A habit of daily caring for the teeth, tongue, and gums not only improves your oral health, it also helps maintain a healthy body. Here's how. Be sure to wash your hands and your food before eating. Rinse your mouth thoroughly after every meal and after brushing your teeth. Floss at least once a day before you brush your teeth along the lines of your teeth. Brush at least twice a day, including before bedtime. Ensure you cover the entire tooth surface. Avoid sticky and sugary foods, including candy, as well as carbonated drinks, as they increase your chances of getting cavities. Consume lots of water, fruits, and vegetables daily. Wait at least 15 minutes after having acidic food and drink, such as citrus fruits and soft drinks, before brushing your teeth. This prevents damage to your teeth's enamel. Visit your dentist twice yearly. For further information, call the Dental Services Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 468-5314.
Welcome back. We join Primus Hutchinson for the NTN Nouvelle à Creole.
Merci autant, Janelle. Monsieur, Madame, département qui est responsabilité pour information en gouvernement cette GIS, à la télévision nationale pays NTN, qui présente une nouvelle à Creole, présente Primus Hutchinson. 25 000 doses de la vaccine, ça c'est AstraZeneca, qui cette recevait au pays indien mardi passé, qui a vraiment bâti à sa capacité pays là pour bien ménager et faire bataille là contre la maladie corona. Premier ministre cette honorable Alain Chastanet déclaré que le gouvernement cette qui travaille et puis l'autre gouvernement avec l'agence internationale pour ça trouver la vaccine qui suffit côté toute cette lycéen qui s'apprend la vaccine ça là. Premier ministre là ba assurance là que gouvernement qui fait tout ça qui est possible pour que cette lycée trouve bonne protection selon Premier ministre Chastanet la vaccine n'a pas seulement aider pour réduire à sous des gros qui maladie à casser manger mais aussi qui réduire à sous sévérité maladie à sous quantité de monde qui est à l'hôpital et aussi la mort. Premier ministre l'a dit que AstraZeneca qui aussi réduire à sous quantité pèse système santé pour traiter et occuper monde qui est tombé malade et limiter à sous pèse maladie à cette lycée pour raison ça là Premier ministre Chastanet a encouragé toute cette lycéen pour prendre l'avantage traitement de la vaccine ça là. Premier ministre Chastanet déclaré que malheureusement l'année monde en société qui a placé doute en cerveau les autres qui a mis tchèyo en tchète concernant si pour yo prendre la vaccine. Premier ministre Chastanet dit qu'il a quoi par exemple quand l'IJA prend la vaccine et tout de suite les restants membres cabinet li ça a encouragé le public là pour venir devant avec volonté pour recevoir dose de la vaccine AstraZeneca. Il dit que c'est pas seulement pour protéger yo mais aussi pour protéger l'autre monde. Premier ministre Chastanet fait comprendre que le gouvernement a fait conquérir pour que cette lycée trouve la vaccine qui aussi ni approuvement organisation santé la terre. Ça c'est parce que vous voulez faire assurer que toute cette lycée trouve protection mais à la fin et qu'il dépend à sous ou même pour faire décision ça là. Le Premier ministre a dit que c'est vous seulement qui peut d'accord pour prendre une dose de la vaccine AstraZeneca. Ministre de la Santé, honorable sénateur Mary Isaac, remercie la République du pays indien autant pour l'assistance là et le rôle qu'il a joué en service de santé en toute la terre. Vendredi semaine ici, service de la vaccine qui est en la Resource Center, en Gozile Multipurpose Center, à Babono Multipurpose Center, à l'école secondaire à Marigot, à l'église Seventh-day Adventiste à Dennery, Multipurpose Center à Mico, Wellness Center à Laboui, et Fisheries Complex en Choisey. Boys Training Center, qui est situé en Powers Massad, à Gozile, célèbre 61 anniversaire récemment. Boys Training Center, c'est une institution qui a apporté une meilleure direction pour jeunes garçons qui brisent un support social et moral et peut aussi aller contre la loi pays là. Géré pour l'institution, Wang Sanson déclaré que la célébration pas en grande mode, mais il a organisé un petit spectacle qui ces jeunesse là, ces jeunes gens ont apprécié tout bonnement.
Nous avons l'histoire institution qui ça y a allé through et yo tout apprécié ça nous fait bayo. So ça nous va faire c'est continuer faire ça qui en baisse en plus bon interest cette bail là, nous va continuer faire ça nous paie pour assurer là yo quitté ici yo kay jeune homme qui a produit en différents communes.
Le gouvernement a approuvé pour une plus grande place de l'histoire historique à cette ici pour trouver en bas protection pays. Les membres du cabinet de gouvernement prennent décision pour placer bord de la mer avec Maouin, c'est en vallée Dauphin, qui est située en Paris Monchi, une place de protection. Ça fait après l'autorité de conservation nationale, NCA, et puis support représentatif pour Gozile avec ses Paris Oliouin, honorable Natmon tout. Pour ça là, Dauphin, qui à présent, une place côté monde qui a visité, et puis la famille, pour n'y un petit temps repos, et pour apprécier belle là. Là aussi, il y a trouvé protection pour préserver tout produit naturel, par exemple, plants, animaux qui en l'environnement. Il y a gagné de 25 officiers qui ont représenté 14 organisations de visiter Place Dauphin le 25 en mois de février pour examiner l'environnement vallée à bord de la mer Dauphin. Le représentatif honorable Leonard Montout déclare qu'il a été consulté et puis le département des forêts, le département de la pêche et le département des affaires plans pour voir à quelle meilleure façon pour développer la vallée Dauphin pour établir un projet qui va préserver l'histoire et la belleté naturelle de la vallée Sala. Le représentatif Montout a organisé pour l'année visitation qui a fait à bas cet développement qui va continuer pour préserver l'environnement naturel en Dauphin. Géré NCA, Mme Jacinthe Lee, qui c'est commune qui peut qu'on la bonne Dauphin même et Mochi, qui a trouvé bénéfice en projet Sala. Officier des affaires touristiques Timothy Ferdinand fait un appel pour gens ces paroisses là qui peuvent pour participer à ces projets qui sont en place et le ministère des Affaires touristiques qui a établi une bonne façon de management pour faire projet ça là. Un succès. C'est comme ça nous avons votre nouvelle là. Je vous remercie autant pour regarder. Je vous avoir une invitation pour je depuis moi considérer conserver la vie. Je vais poser toute l'autre nouvelle à Creole. À présent, je vais vous poser Chanel.
Merci Appeal Primus. That brings us to the end of NTN Nightly. Join us next time at 7 p.m. with a repeat at 7 a.m. You can also catch up with us anytime on the St. Lucia Government Facebook page or YouTube channel. I am Janelle Norvell.